Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Mr. Pick Me and the Manhater podcast. I am Reagan. I'm who? I am Reagan. It's
What?
contagious. You've given it to me. I am Reagan, aka the Manhater.
Chicka chicka. I am I am what? Slim shit. That was what it sounded like. I'm Chesko,
Oh my
the pick
God.
Mr. Bigamy.
So I thought mine was bad. Just
Here we are.
what year is it? Wicka wicka.
Eminem for life.
Oh, you know what? I wish if Eminem could knock off the homophobia and the, threats of
Yeah.
violence against women, he's a good
Yeah.
rapper. But if he could
hmm
just knock it off, Eminem.
If he could just, I'm sure he still makes new music, right?
He
I don't
just
know.
did.
Does
He just
he
came
just
out with
came out with
something,
something,
bringing
right?
back Slim Shady, I guess. I don't know.
Yeah.
I'm like, we're a little old for that one, I think.
Yeah. I'm more of a Kendrick guy. I love Kendrick. I
How
love hip
cool
hop.
you are. Look at
Yeah.
you being hip.
You can cut this out if you need to. When I was coaching speech and debate, I turned To Pimp a Butterfly into a 10-minute performance for one of my students to do, and he won a national silver medal with it. So it was pretty. I was like, it was the day the
Oh.
album came out. I was driving to school, listening to it. I was like,
Uh,
we need to do this. Is amazing. This
we
is
have to
like the
do
greatest
this.
album. It's still my favorite album I've ever heard.
Damn.
And I got to school. I was like, I don't know if I say his name, student. I have something for you. He was like, oh, and it was one of my favorite students. He was like, oh, Mr. Chesko, what's up? What do you got for me? I was like, have you heard Kendrick's new album? He was like, oh, I heard he came out with a new album. I was like, let me show you what I want to do. He was like, do you think that would work? I was like, we need to do this. And he was all right. And it was terrible at first. But we worked on it because we both enjoyed it so
Sure.
much that we were just doing it by the end of the year. It was
Are
great.
you sure you weren't in a 70s sitcom the way that just was? You're like, hey, Mr. Chesko.
He literally he wore like leisure suits to compete. And normally people wear like really nice, like tailored, he would wear like these like 70s leisure suits to compete and it worked.
I love that.
He was one of my favorite people. He's just
I
like
love that for him.
just this character of a person. And he's a good guy. Anyhow, where did that
I
go
don't
from?
even know where we are right now. What year is it? We're just saying our names.
Yeah.
Uh,
Oh yeah. Welcome to our podcast.
by the way, I do not hate men, and Chesko has already been picked. So
Yes. Important disclaimer.
we like to make it clear. We have had,
Mhm.
some people comment on that. It's
Yeah.
like, we don't
Like,
actually.
why am I going to listen to the show with Manhater? Why? Who would advertise that they hate all men? Like, why am I going to listen to that show? Probably wasn't for that person. Even with a disclaimer, they were never going to like the
Yeah,
show.
I don't think our content's for them. And that's
Yeah,
okay.
but
Feel
it's
free to
okay.
tune us out. We're good. Now that we've talked about men that don't like us, I believe you
Yes,
have a story about men that I am not going to like.
I do. So
Great segue.
if anybody's listening to this, if anybody is, I don't know if
What
anybody
does
listens to our
that mean?
show.
We're just
We
going
just
into the void. Do you think we have no listeners?
no, we just accidentally recorded an hour-long pre-show for our Patreon.
Yeah, we're
Because we just
idiots.
kept talking about life. And so yeah, so we are a little off already. It's gonna be a great
Yeah,
episode though, because
it's
that means
gonna.
we're in the mood. We are in a goofy mood.
We're in a goofy mood, to be
Yeah,
clear. We're not in the
yeah.
mood. We're in a
In
goofy mood.
well, when I go to my wife and I say I'm in the mood, it's about being goofy, right? That's what everyone's talking about. Is that not? Oh,
Chesko, I think that might not be what you're trying to express there.
oh, well, I should have some apologies to make. But let's go back to what we're talking about today is something that is a little gross, that you might not want to play this one at work out loud.
Yeah, the disclaimer, there's some gross stuff about because mine is also a little gross.
Yeah.
So,
So this is there was a video that I made a TikTok about it, and it said my grandpa told me never drop your drawers for any lady that wouldn't clean them if you shit them at work. And I'm holding that one close now, is what it says. And we have some thoughts. Theme song.
You want bad advice, man? I'll give it out gladly. I got some good advice for you. No, you don't. Like, no, you don't. I got some good advice for you. No, you don't. Like, no, you
Let me just say, why are men shitting their pants?
Well, I literally did not think this was going to be a thing on my. I was just, it's finals week. I didn't have time to like think of like an actual thought out video, and I was like,
Right.
oh, this is funny, and so I commented on it, and I said, oh man, if men are shitting their pants that much, they have bigger issues than bringing women home. And in my mind, that was the end of it. I was like, oh, that's a silly little joke, and I thought I was making the absurd comment in the
Right.
sense that, of course, he didn't mean literal
It
shit,
was,
but
yeah, not literal shit.
metaphorical shit. Of course, it had to mean like, oh, you don't want to be with a
Metaphorical shit.
metaphorical shit, right? It was
Yeah.
you don't want to be with somebody who won't be you with you when you're at your worst. And maybe that's what his grandpa meant. Maybe,
I mean,
but
I just think as far as words of wisdom from an elder go, this one's a
right,
little sus,
right.
but carry on.
But so I that was supposed to be the end of it, but then someone commented on it and they're like, you'd be surprised. And
What does
I was
that
like, wait,
mean?
and well, this is the part. And so I made, and then I got several comments that were like, well, actually, it's more common than you'd think. And I was like, hold
Wait.
on. We're talking literal pooping is happening. And this is also something I clarify in a second video. And I think it's important to clarify this in front of this. We're not talking about incontinence or IBS or someone that has an actual medical condition that might be there. Cause somebody was like, well, I have, Crohn's disease and occasionally
No,
that will happen.
not that, not that.
I'm not talking about, this is the amount. So I made the video about it. Hundreds hundreds of the most terrifying, that's the only word I could, just comments from women that were
From
saying, oh
women?
yeah, from women, all women that were saying, oh yeah, my ex-husband
Hopefully.
used to shit himself monthly at work. Or comments about where I've had multiple exes who
What?
would get off, hold on, who would get off of our bed and there would be a streak.
No, no,
Yes,
no,
I swear to you,
no,
this is more
no.
common. That it was hundreds, and it was not like, oh, people joining in on the fun. These were detailed stories of the men
Confessionals.
in their life pooping.
I mean, we talked about like the men not cleaning their butts. We've talked about
Right.
that. What fresh hell is this? What does this mean? Why are men poop? Why are they pooping? Why are they?
Is it a fiber issue? Like, is it?
What's going on? Help a lesbian understand. What's going on in this world? I had heard some
Yeah,
stories about some men leaving streaks before. I had always hoped that was like a bit of hyperbole. What's going on here? Like
I
what?
know. I think there's a lot to unpack here. So they're apparently they're just shitting themselves and going on about their day because they don't want, and
No.
just going home and just handing off their trousers that are
Skid
full of
mark trousers?
not just skid mark, like poop
No.
packaged in.
No, no.
This is what the
No. No, Chesko.
somebody, here's
No.
what somebody said in the comments about an ex. This is once again speaking about an ex. She was like, it was a power move. Like, look at how much I
No.
can degrade you as
No.
my wife or as my partner, as my girlfriend. Clean this to show that you are less than me.
No.
So it's like
No,
it was like a
no.
way for
No.
these
No.
guys to like literally just like impose their will over someday there, so they would sit in their shit for the day
To stick it to him? Like,
just to, as a power move.
I mean, I feel like, what? I know. I'm
I
broken.
don't
I
want to
am
believe it. I
shattered.
don't want to believe it. But it was too many
Are they
comments.
becoming literal babies as they descend into the maturity? Like they want to be treated like babies? Because there's that whole thing. I don't know what show it is, but it's got who plays Don Draper?
Oh, Mad Men.
No, who plays him?
Oh, sorry.
No,
um,
you nailed that.
Mad Men. I
Madman.
got it. And now his name is God.
Oh, come on.
John Hamm.
John
John
Hamm,
Hamm.
thank you. That's
He
I
has the
should have.
ham and bubbly skit. I don't know if you know. It was a
No, I
very
don't know that
obscure
one.
reference.
So John Hamm, and it's oh God.
Someone thought that was hilarious listening to this.
One person.
No one did. No one did. My wife.
Don't stop saying my wife.
No, nope.
No. Don't.
That's a Patreon exclusive joke. We have to keep that off of the
lock
podcast.
it up. Lock it up,
Yeah.
Chesko. Those are secret. That's a Patreon secret. It was him and God, now I can't remember. Jennifer Jason Leigh. And he's talking about like he doesn't want to have any responsibility. He wants to do whatever he wants. And she's like, You want to do whatever you want with no responsibility? Only one type of person is afforded that. A baby. You want to be a baby. And I was like, that is what it is. It's 100% they want to be nurtured and taken care of like a baby. And now I'm like, has it gone to pooping? Have we fully dedicated ourselves to being a baby?
I don't know. Like I wanted this not to be. I kept waiting for like the gotcha.
Right, from 100 people.
Like, from 100 people, like the hundreds. Here's one of them. I lost count of how many times my ex-husband shat his pants. Like, how do you do this in your 20s, 30s?
Help me. Like, somebody help me. Like, I don't, why?
I don't even have theories.
I don't either.
Is it like a thing where, you know, there was the big jokes of like weird things that men find to be effeminate. Like,
Sure.
is like seeing a doctor for an incontinence issue like a, do
Like
they
weak?
view that as like only a weak man would do that?
Yeah, if anyone has answers, please let us know. My ex-husband used to yell at me for using too much toilet paper because he would only use one square.
Oh, see, yeah, somebody wrote that their old boyfriend's roommate said, "You women don't know how to use your underwear correctly. You're using too much toilet paper."
What?
Meaning the underwear is there to catch what you aren't able to wipe off. Yeah.
Chesko, I mean, I know I'm in lesbian land, like I totally get that. But is it this bad out there?
So one person said, because men don't eat properly, I had an ex that primarily ate meat, bread, and energy drinks.
Ugh.
Always something about how his shits were awful. Eat some fiber.
Okay.
So
there's some science.
I mean, you do see those like those guys that are like the only meat, like the carnivore kind of.
Sure, right. Maybe it's fiber. Like I'm just reading just thing after thing of men pooping themselves.
Here's another great comment. Okay. One guy literally was like acting like I was being hoity-toity and like speaking like, "Oh, okay, we get it." And he said, "We get it. Not all of our relationships are as this is his exact quote, are as egalitarian as you and your wife's." Like this was not a feminist take, right? This was not me saying, wait a minute, grown men with no underlying health issues are shitting themselves a lot.
Like,
and this guy was like, whoa, fancy pants.
Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't know somebody had perfect cheek control.
Your golden throne of hoity-toityness.
You're so above shitting yourself. I'm sorry. Your golden trousers.
I'm sorry that I need a partner to change my diaper when I get home. What does that make me less of a man?
I mean, I'm just amazed that like it's not even skid marks. It's some of it is skid marks, but some of it is.
Well, and that's that's been a running thing for a while of this like homophobia of these want to be masculine guys so much that they don't wipe. That is also, that by itself, that is terrifying. Have you heard of the reasoning behind it?
They don't
want to touch their own butthole because that's for gay guys.
Okay, well, you don't have to dive on in, but you can do a quick swipe
you
just
can
to drive by.
Yeah.
Oh
use a bidet. No, but it's literally.
Oh, but they do think bidets are gay. I know that.
Yeah. Anything going anywhere near, so it's better to just walk around
with skids.
But
let's address. I think. Well, no, it's not the bigger issue because men shitting themselves seems to be an epidemic. But let's talk about the fact that the expectation is after they poop themselves. We're gonna have to put like so many warnings on this episode. You shouldn't have sex with a woman because he said drop your drawers, right?
Yeah. That's the weirdest part about this is that it was It was sexual in
It was
nature
sexual.
already.
It wasn't even like a partner, like wife. It was like,
Right. Don't marry someone unless you know they'll be for
yes,
you when you shit your pants. Like even that is still a weird saying, but I could be like, okay, like
sure,
if where something terrible happens to me, I want my partner to
help me,
help me, you
or
know?
let me run past and make a distraction.
I could see that, but it's the fact that it was paired with don't drop your drawers for a woman who won't clean them if you come up from work having shit in them. I know this is
I feel like that's a fine. You know what? That's a great strategy for men who want to think that way. Don't drop your
mhm,
drawers. Don't be sleeping with women
mm,
if your
mm.
expectation is they
Stay
clean up
away.
your dirty undies. Oh my God. Like I just like even if that did happen, why would you then make it the responsibility of your wife to clean
Mm-mm.
it?
That's the other the bigger part to me. It's like,
Right.
and that's where I feel like it's a power thing. It
Sure.
is like a degradation
Maybe.
kind of thing. At
Maybe.
least be honest that you have like a kink that is that if it's a consensual kink,
I
whatever.
doubt it.
I don't, but it doesn't sound like this is a way for say, well, if you wouldn't do this, then
Yeah.
you clearly are less that you don't love me.
How would the reverse go? If your wife
Right.
came home and
Hmm.
had a little accidente, would you clean her drawers?
Well, these are guys that are probably like the same ones that will, have you seen women's that talk about like the pH will like stain underwear?
Sure, sure.
And they're the guys that'll be great because there'll be comments that are like the guys are like, something's wrong with you. What the hell is blah, blah, or that are like terrified of periods. Like
Ugh,
these are the exact same
yes,
guys that would be horrified
yes,
by the natural functioning of a
right.
woman's body
Yep.
that will then be like, whoa, 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 you can't judge me for shitting myself weekly.
Oh my God.
Is this where our podcast ends?
Maybe. I mean,
Maybe we shouldn't have done this topic.
it's just stunning to me, but I think it's a very bizarre mindset that these men are
Mhm.
having. If men are agreeing with this, I don't know who's agreeing with this.
Oh no, the comment section was full of people that were like, yes. It was the original video was full of just people that were like, this guy gets it.
Grandpa gets it. I'm a pants shitter and he
It
gets
was
it.
yeah.
But it's just this idea of like you giving someone the gift
Mm-hmm.
of dropping your drawers, which
Mm-hmm.
that's their language, not mine.
Right.
Like
Right.
equates to, I mean, that could be a one night stand, that could be a
Right.
dating versus relationship. Like, so if they want to have relations with you, they should wash your filthy, dirty, contaminated
And
underwear, right?
God, I didn't even think about it from that perspective. Like the whole first part is like, men, if you're willing to bestow a woman with your presence
With
in the
your body.
bedroom, you better make sure that she deserves you by proving that she would be devoted to you, that even if you were so inconsiderate that you shit your pants, sat in it all day, and did not think to yourself, maybe this should be on me to clean.
Throw them away.
Yeah, that was what I was like, throw them away. That's life advice that I didn't think I had to give. No,
Literally.
but even if you were so fucking, I don't know if I've ever said F word on this podcast, but
Good
so
for
and it's deserved. It's so fucking inconsiderate that you were going to bring home your shit covered underwear to give to her to clean for you, that she'll stick around. Maybe I've been too nice to men.
I'm regretting my
Maybe
choices.
well, because I mean, how do and this is like it might explain a lot about why so many guys are like, I just can't find a woman. A
I know.
woman.
If
Like,
your bar for finding a woman is that you will not be intimate with them unless they'll clean up your underwear, then yeah, I think finding a woman under those circumstances that's the bar for you. Like, but here's the thing is again, it's like what's equal in that exchange would be
mhm,
you show up, she shows up, you guys are intimate, right? You're both
right.
like that's the trade-off. The
Mhm,
idea that the trade-off is, well, I'll give her my body and she'll give me her body, but also she needs to do
mhm,
all this other like degrading things.
mhm.
Like that's where
Because
it
they're
gets
not reversing that. Like bringing up what I just brought up, they're absolutely not reversing that. Where only drop your drawers for a man who will help you with your period if you or with your tampon if you have broken arms. Like that would be like the equivalent of,
Broken arms.
like I got two broken arms and I need someone to help. Like, and those
Yeah.
guys would be like, fuck
They
you,
would be
you're gonna
horrified. They'd be
they
like, oh,
would
that's
not a
disgusting.
single one
No, not a
that would
single.
pose this question. Like
Right.
like yeah.
Yes. That would pose this question. Exactly. What they want from women is really bizarre to me. It honestly does
Hmm.
feel like that's very much like I want a mommy.
Yeah. I mean, especially when you combine it with all the other like things we've talked about.
Yeah. Cause like the only times I have to do that is like I have a child, so of course like when they're little, you're cleaning that stuff up. It's
Hmm.
like you're talking about an
Right.
adult man who could do. We're not talking about acting like you could do better. You just don't care enough, and then you're like, but baby, I love you so much. Not only will I get naked for you, but I will
Hmm.
hand you off my skivvies, my skid mark skivvies.
And it's not like it's a hard real quick before we get to it. It's not that hard. Like my 9-year-old does his own laundry. Like he
Really?
does it, yeah, he does his own laundry,
Good.
folds his own clothes. Like that's part of how he earns like video game time. And
Nice.
so but every Saturday he brings his basket down. He doesn't like it.
Well,
But
sure.
he's able like if my and that's why it's not even like it's not this high bar of like how hard is this thing that you have to
Hmm.
master doing,
Right.
right? If my 9-year-old who's been doing it since he was 8 can
Yeah.
do his own laundry, then you can at least throw your own shitty skid marked Hanes in the garbage without forcing the person that you theoretically love
Not even love, just drawer. Just
that you
drop your
yeah I
drawers
guess that
for
you
her.
yeah oh my
But
god.
again, I think it speaks to the point of like, even if you had some type of issue where you were
Right,
constantly,
right,
it's
yeah.
like, then do it yourself. Like, how is a woman cleaning up your dirty
Hmm.
undies equate to a woman who's worthy of you?
And there were to this is the positive side, I guess. There were a lot of people in the comments, both men and women. They were like, I have colitis, I have
Yeah,
Crohn's,
sure.
I have and they're like, but I take care of that.
Right,
Right.
right,
I do that because of the fact that I realized that would be an undue hardship to put on
right,
my partner. Like if this is
right.
something that I know, and they too, and they do, they and there are situations, as you get older, and there are things, of course, you want to be with somebody that would take care of you if your health deteriorates. But there's a very big difference between loving someone and caring about them even as their body kind of betrays them and does these
Sure.
certain things versus someone that is consciously not caring and just being like, whatever, take care of
You should
this.
have to do that. I feel it's like degrading. You should have to do
Hmm.
this.
It
Because
absolutely has to do that.
again, I always say like the issue is if it never ever would go the opposite way.
Hmm.
Like that's what the
Hmm.
problem is. Like it's clearly a power move. It's
Right.
clearly a you're lesser than, you should have to do this. And it's already setting up, I guess every woman you drop your drawers for is doing the laundry.
Hmm.
Sets up the gender roles already. Because only
Hmm.
women do the laundry. Like, oh
Hmm.
God. Like, it's just like the fact that that man was not embarrassed to post that is
Right.
shocking. Shocking.
And then he's all excited. He's like, yes, this is
Yes,
the
this
best
is the
advice
take.
ever.
Well, you just admitted to the whole world that you and your grandpa really don't like to use the bathroom, really like to use your undies, and don't probably wipe your butts good enough. So,
This episode brought to you by bidets, men's
men's
bidets,
bidets,
battle bidets.
camo bidets.
Camo, yeah, camel now in camouflage.
If you can't see it, it's not gay.
Yep. And when you press the button, it goes "Pwah, pwah, pwah, pwah."
Just plays the national anthem.
No, because they did stand up. They have to-
Oh my God. You
I
know
think
what? Who
yeah,
knows if they're not standing up already? Clearly, they are not sure how to use the restroom.
who knows?
Oh God. Okay, I have
I
one.
think I think that was good.
We can't keep talking about this because that's
I
horrible.
think we've lost a lot of followers.
Bye. I'm sorry. I love you. Sorry.
This is gonna be our last
No. Stay with
this
us.
episode. We'll move on to less terrifying episodes in the future. But if you like this, I'm sorry if we don't do more on
We
this.
won't do more on this probably. Okay, here we go. You ready? Am I the asshole for laughing hysterically after a date kept insisting to me that women have periods from their butts? Okay, you ready for this?
Oh, there's more.
Oh yeah. There's a whole story about it.
Like I don't understand. There's no way. Like normally when I hear an "Am I the asshole?"
Yep.
I'm like, oh, there's gonna be a twist. So, oh, the person I was talking to was actually 3 years old, and now,
Yeah.
oh, okay, you are being mean to a 3-year-old.
Yeah, that's
That's
not right. Now, it just gets worse and worse. So this
okay.
is
Let's hear.
so men don't know about their own butts, they don't know about women's butts. Okay. There was this guy, 22 male, who I, 22 female, have gone on a few dates with in the past couple of months. He's nice, and so far we've only progressed to going on public dates, but about a week ago we finally decided to have a nice date at my place. Since I was going to be at my place, I let him know before that I was on my period because I wasn't sure what expectations he had or where his boundaries were yet, and we agreed to just have a nice takeout dinner and watch a movie. He comes over and we eat, then sit down on the couch to pick a movie when he says that it sucked that I was on my period. Then he said how he thought it was so strange that women give birth through the vagina but have periods from their butts.
Okay, I'm gonna go. I'm gonna.
Can you imagine being on this date? Like you're just this guy you really like, and he's like, God, it's really so weird. You guys have babies through your vaginas, but periods through your butts. Okay, hold
Yeah,
on.
you get you're pregnant by someone who pees on your butt, right? Isn't that?
Listen to what in parentheses. She says this was completely unprompted from him,
Oh
and
my
I'm still not
God.
sure how he got on the topic. To be honest.
Yeah.
Okay. I asked him what he meant by that, and he said again exactly what he had said before. I kind of smiled, assuming he was very much just joking, and said, Oh, yeah, so weird, thinking that he was going to start laughing soon to end the joke. He didn't, and instead started to talk about his first and only girlfriend he'd had in high school and how she used to complain about bad period poops all the time. And at this point, I ask him if he's being serious, and he looks a little confused and says he is. I ask him to explain how he came to the conclusion. He explained that his first experience being around periods was the high school girlfriend, and before he had never received or seen much information. He understood it was something that happened inside the body and that blood came out, quote unquote, somewhere, but assumed it came out of the vagina until he heard about her complaining and realized it actually came out of the butt. It was very unexpected coming from a 22-year-old man. I somehow managed to keep my composure when I told him that periods do in fact come out of the vagina and not butts.
Oh my
It
God.
goes on, hold on. He looked confused and then a little frustrated and started insisting to me that I was wrong.
No, I was no.
And then kept saying, Are you sure? As if I was confused about where it came out of my own body. I explained to him the anatomy a bit and how it worked, but he was very adamant. Eventually, he conceded that most women must have periods like that, but some, hence his ex girlfriend, have their periods from their butts. He just could not understand, no matter how many times I tried to explain to him, that he had just simply come to the wrong conclusion and misinterpreted his girlfriend's words. The whole situation became so much that I started to laugh. I doubled over, clutching my stomach, crying, laughing over the whole debacle, and he sat there red-faced, continuing to try and argue with me. Eventually, he said he was ready to leave and did before we could watch a movie. I felt bad for laughing after he left because I could tell that had been why he had decided to leave, and he also texted me later that night to say he had done a little bit of research on his own and that he was no longer interested in pursuing any sort of relationship because he couldn't stand to be with someone who laughed at someone for not understanding. Am I the asshole?
Because I've heard of guys not knowing that there's more than one hole. Like I've heard that before, and that one is already like, what's wrong with our education system?
Yeah,
But
public
to
schools, what's going on?
yeah, but to this is I've never heard of someone thinking this before. Like, and it's not just to think it, but then to argue
That's the
with
thing.
you're wrong.
I think I would know. I had one
I
girlfriend
mean,
in high school.
it complained about period poops, and clearly the only interpretation of that must be that she is pooing out her period.
here's the thing, though. Here's the thing. It's not laughing at someone for like being ignorant to
No,
something. And I
'cause-
don't mean ignorant as in like you're being ignorant, but ignorant as
yeah,
in not having information. It's not that. It's the fact of like you are trying to date the opposite sex.
right,
There is unlimited information out there to
right.
understand. As a partner, as a person pursuing someone, it is important to understand what's going on with them. It's like a period is so like it's every month.
Wait, was that story about someone who was on a date in 1927 before the
Oh, you
internet?
know what? It was handwritten on a scroll.
I knew it. That's what it was. It was before they had access to the internet. He was like, oh, women get rid of their period by leeches. That's what I was taught.
It came from her butt. Stop. I think it was a period poop. Stop.
It was a telegram.
Did
Okay,
you get the telegram joke? Yeah.
now it all makes sense.
That was
Okay.
for all my friends out there who enjoy little telegram humor. I just like, that's the thing though. It's like
Yeah.
when people care so little about the opposite sex, like
Hmm.
to understand such a crucial part, because here's the thing is in society, like I think about when I was growing up, I hope it's a little bit different now, but like it
Hmm.
was a no to talk about. Like
Right.
if you had your period and leaked for some reason, that was like the most embarrassing thing that could happen. We smuggled tampons like drugs. Like like you
Hmm.
would literally hide them in your sleeves and be like, "You got one? Does anyone have one?" You know, because it was like, God forbid a man see a tampon. Like
Hmm.
I guess in that case a boy, because that was, middle school, high school. But it's like there's this complete resistance and like refusal to understand, to learn, to educate. And so when this 22-year-old man
Hmm.
just is like, oh, they come from butts, I don't need any more information and I'm not going to look that up. And I will argue with you about it. I will
Yeah.
tell you.
Also, what do you think? It's not even. It is no. It is even. It's everything. But it's like, how do you not? Do you not understand what a period even is?
I bet he does not.
Do you think you get pregnant by only?
Don't.
No, because that
No,
gives them too much
he's
understand. No, because
saying it comes from the baby comes from there, but just not the period. It's like at this point, there's so many issues like this, but it's like you don't know because you don't want to know. You have every opportunity to know, or to know better. And like,
not to defend this person, this guy,
uh-oh, Chesko,
but
are we gonna
no,
fight?
this is this is he has been failed by so many people in his
Oh,
life
sure.
because
The
he's
education
still a young
system.
guy, like, and so many, there's somebody at some point
Mm-hmm.
should, and this, it could be like, I know when I was, we've talked about religious culture and before, and like that is
Yeah,
like, we could have come from a very religious
yeah,
background where it's like, don't talk about these things, it's not
sure.
shunned or something like that, but like, to be failed, this is not just like an accident that this happened, like
Right,
this had to be like a systemic fail, like a multiple systemic
right,
failure in
right.
the, and then added onto it a willful ignorance to not ever pursue that, because once
Yeah,
you're, if you were a teenager and you're stuck with whatever you are, once you've
yeah,
entered the real world,
yeah.
then it becomes a choice.
Right.
The to stay in this bubble of ignorance, that's when it does become laughable, right, where she
Right.
does not become the asshole for being, because also, like, how else are you supposed to react to a guy arguing with you?
Yeah, I know your body better than you. I don't care how many periods you've had.
You clearly seem to know, both from experience and just from life, understand how this works, and I clearly don't, but I'm still pretty sure that this interpretation that I took from a girlfriend in high school must also apply to some women.
Yeah. It's maybe not you. Maybe I can't convince you you're wrong about yourself.
Are you
But
let's check.
but this
Let's,
but this high school girl, now
right.
yeah, I think that's a big part of it too, is the arguing again. Like I have had so many toxic men in my
Hmm.
life argue things about me to me.
Hmm.
I
Hmm.
once had a guy tell me like my sexuality was not a thing. And I was
Hmm.
like, I think it is.
Hmm.
I'm pretty sure it is because I am currently experiencing it.
Hmm.
So, or like there's so many situations in which like you describe something that's happening and they're like, no, that's not
Yeah.
what I've heard about women.
actually, yeah, I have a, this is kind of off topic, but related to that. I was having a conversation with a friend of mine, a lesbian, and it's pertinent to this story in a second.
Oh, I
I'm
thought
not
you were
just
just trying to
throwing
get
it.
points with me.
Just so
Yeah,
you know, I have another friend that's a lesbian.
you're not
This
special.
is yeah, this was in college, and where I was like, well, I think everybody is kind of in the middle of sexuality. Like that, we were
Yeah,
learning the Kinsey scale, and I
sure,
was like,
sure,
well,
sure,
I think most people, like almost everybody's pretty much in the middle. Like where they, they'll find there could be someone if they're right,
sure.
they'll be attracted to everyone. And she was like, oh, so you think I just haven't found the right man yet? And I was like,
Oh,
no,
oh, what did
no,
I say?
that's not what I meant at all. And I was
Yeah,
like, she was like, there's a reason there are straight people and gay people,
yeah,
and then there are people in the middle.
yeah.
But by saying, and I'd never even considered what the other implication of that, where I was saying like, oh, I think it's stupid that people are like homophobic and everything because everybody's kind of in the middle.
Right.
And she was like, are you? I think you are just admitting something.
Is this might be on your side?
Yeah, but it's one of those things where, and instead of me being like, no, no, yeah, that's just what, instead of doubling down and being like,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, maybe you haven't found the right. But it's
Oh
like
my God.
when someone who knows more about something than you says something back to you, you should listen,
You
right?
should
You should,
listen to that.
it's usually the best. Maybe that's the problem with the entirety of the internet, though, is refusing to listen to people who actually know what they're talking about.
Especially like their own body.
Right,
Like
right.
people talking about their own experiences. Like that's where it's really interesting when someone will be like, "No, that didn't happen." And you're like,
Hmm.
"It did."
That's not true. No.
Oh, I'm being gaslit as we speak.
Yes, I'm sorry you were misled by yourself.
I'm
This is
sorry you're
sad for,
misled by your own experience, but it
I
did
know
not
this
happen.
feels sad for me, but it's really sad for you that you've gone all these years thinking this lived experience of yours is real. Wow, you've really gaslit yourself to be able to continue to believe it after experiencing it continuously
Oh,
for the whole of your life.
it's just it's very interesting and like it there's also like I think so many men think well one they think they know more than women, but also
Hmm.
like have this crippling fear of being corrected by women.
Right, right.
And so they'll just double down. Like he's like you told me you made fun of me because I was wrong. It's like she thought you were being ridiculous. Like you're fighting with her about
Right.
her own anatomy. That was what was funny. But I really do think a lot of men like cannot handle critique, so they'll
Yeah.
just keep doubling down. They'll be like,
Hmm.
no, 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 trust me. I have this one anecdotal story that proves
Hmm.
I'm right and you're wrong. I
Right.
don't care what
And
side
it's,
says.
and like everybody can feel like doesn't like nobody likes feeling stupid or being
Of
corrected
course,
or
of
being wrong about
course.
it. But it's the, you're right, it's this which ties back into patriarchal misogynistic culture of it's no, but being wrong is a weakness, and I
Mm-hmm.
can't show weakness to someone that I consider to be weaker than me.
Mm-hmm.
Right, I cannot concede an argument to someone that I view as less than, because if I do, that would mean that I'm the one that's weaker, that I'm not the dominant one
Mm-hmm.
in this situation. And that's all, and that's not, it's all underlying, it's all structural components of it's hidden. They
Mm-hmm.
may not even realize that's what's happening, but that's absolutely what's happening.
I have had so many dudes like correct me incorrectly,
Hmm.
like in conversation. I remember one time I was telling a story and like there was two people with similar names. Like they had the same last name and a similar first name, and both of these people had come up within the story. And I was
Hmm.
telling a story about one, and he was like, "Oh, you mean this person?" And I was like, "No,
No.
I mean the
Hmm.
first person." He's like, "No, no, no, that's not what their name is." And I'm like, "Yes, yes, it is." And he's like, it was like a work meeting, and he did it
Hmm.
again, and I was like, "You're talking about two people. This is one person, the blah, 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 and he does this and that, and I'm talking about this separate person who's a teacher, and he does blah, blah, blah." He's like, mm. Oh, God. Like, literally, he
Agree
corrected
to
me.
disagree.
Agreed. Yeah, exactly. I
I
was
hate
like,
that so much. No, this is not, this is a
it's
objective
factual.
fact we're
It's
talking
just
about. This
facts.
is not
Yeah.
a.
Yeah, he corrected me like 3 times. And there's been other times where someone will like throw off a statistic or something, and I'm
Hmm.
like, I don't think that's right. But that's the other thing is like, I notice a lot in like professional settings, men
Hmm.
are very comfortable, more toxic men than men in general, but
Right.
are very comfortable just throwing shit out there, even if they're not positive, even if they're
Hmm.
pretty sure. Whereas I
Hmm.
found women are so much more careful about what they say. They very like want to make sure they're not saying the wrong thing. They want to make sure like if they're going to use a statistic, they want to make sure it's right. Like
Hmm.
I've seen women in arguments in work settings with men where the man is absolutely incorrect. Like
Hmm.
just categorically, but he is so confident in his incorrect statement that she will back off because she
Hmm.
wants to make sure she can back up her argument. And I think that
Right.
just comes from like women knowing if they mess up, it's going to be held against them much more intensely than men messing up in the workplace.
Hmm.
But it's so interesting because I would like be in meetings where men would just say ridiculous things and I'd be like, pretty sure that's not correct. Here,
Hmm.
let me give you an example of a ridiculous thing I once heard. A lot of the people who were the heads of the company, they're older men, they're old
Hmm.
school, and like they reminded me of the guys who were cool in high school and
Hmm.
didn't realize high school was over. You know what I mean? Just like
Yeah.
that's I'm still cool. I know everything, and like the younger staff was like, I may not know everything. So the head of the company once came to a meeting and he was 100% serious. He was like, "Hey, I have heard of this really interesting trend that's happening. It's really new. Um, I feel like we could do something with this, maybe pitch a series. Did you know that there are women now who will ask out men first? Women who are making the first move." And
Hmm.
this was a couple years back. This was not the 1920s. This was not,
Hmm.
hey, dames are out there asking the men these days.
What?
They're getting on their horses and buggies and they're
Have you heard of
saying,
this brand new thing called feminism?
but he pitched it as like a show, as if it was so
Hmm.
revolutionary we should do a show on it. And everyone's like,
Okay.
um, I think I think that's been going on. I don't think that's what you
Yeah.
think it is. Or
It's like,
like
no, 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 no. This
this
is
is new.
new.
And everyone's like, oh, yeah, of course. And you're like, no. Or like a girl, or I should say a woman would pitch an idea and it would be get nothing. And then I would watch men literally repeat the women, like repeat almost
Hmm.
verbatim. And then they're like, that right there. Now that's thinking. And the woman's like, I just said that.
Yeah.
I just said that. But it's just interesting. Like, I don't know. It's very interesting the ways just like the patriarchy and sexism and misogyny have impacted even people's ability to speak up for themselves, to voice their ideas, to take criticism, or to silence themselves for fear of criticism or for fear of
Hmm.
what speaking up, even in like professional settings or like relationships. Like, I, I,
Yeah.
I mean, I can't even tell you, Chesko, how many dudes I dated that would say stuff that I was like,
Ah.
no, no, that's not a thing.
Well,
That's
and
not
part of it's part of the reason I won't go on to like I've been invited on a bunch of these like douche bro
really,
podcasts. At least
really.
5 or 6 of them have invited
They
me to
probably want
like
to fight you.
debate them. They just wanted to, yeah, they want to debate me, but it's like there's, and I've talked about this before, like, and this is, I'm, I coached speech and debate for 10 years, over 10 years. I'm not afraid
I could
to
do it.
argue with somebody,
Yeah,
but there's literally no winning. That I guess there
a
no
hundred
educating.
percent.
I don't think there would be any value to anyone. They would cut the clips and be so confident in what they said, and they would post videos of them being wrong,
Mm-hmm.
and their followers would be like, look at we own this feminist
Lib.
lib blah blah blah, yeah, and
Yeah.
it's all it would do, all it would be
Mm-hmm.
the reaffirming that they were right and nobody should listen to me because I'm wrong, and there's no reason I would ever go on there, and it would make them money, right? It would be an episode for them to see, for people to see them dunking on me with information that's wrong,
It's
right?
always
That
wrong.
is,
It's always so. like it's made up stats.
Right.
It's, studies about monkeys that they're
Mm-hmm.
like using.
Yeah.
It's aside from the editing and like the way
Mm-hmm.
that they would frame it, and they're always got gotcha. They're
Right.
always trying to screw you in some way. Well, I don't,
Right.
as we know, a lot of those really alpha males have some of that going
Mm-hmm.
on, that maybe I don't know what their interests are, but
Mm-hmm.
they're trying to get you. But it's also the fact of like, they're not seeking to understand, they don't want to understand. They literally, there's nothing you could say to
No.
really get them, because the problem with those pages are they literally can't move. They
Mm-hmm.
can't change. They can't grow, because then they'll lose their following. Like then
Mm-hmm.
like their following doesn't want to hear that.
No.
They have to be so like, they don't even believe half the things they say. Like,
Mm-hmm.
you look at those fresh and fit guys,
Oh,
right?
so
Like,
especially the guys that are like you could tell are actually intelligent
yeah, and then
enough
you're like, stop
to.
this.
Mm-hmm.
Knock it off. Well, the fresh and fit guys, like, they're like, you like, careful with women. You don't date Instagram models. You don't get them pregnant. You're a provider, family.
Mm-hmm.
And then one of them gets an Instagram model pregnant and wants her to
Mm-hmm.
terminate said pregnancy. Like,
Mm-hmm.
they don't believe the things that they're saying.
No,
They're
of course
saying
not.
it for, so it's like, there's not even a way to have an authentic conversation with them. There's not a way, like, they're not seeking to understand. They're not seeking to change. They're seeking to do some kind of gotcha. And like, I saw a clip, I think it's because I react to so many of them, but like, it was
Mm-hmm.
like, so and so owns a feminist creator or whatever.
Right.
And she absolutely obliterated him.
Mm-hmm.
Like even
Mm-hmm.
in the
I
clip,
know. I've seen. I don't know if it's
she
the
had
same
the
one, but I've
the
seen
girl with the
versions of that.
glasses, dark
I don't
hair.
know, but
Oh,
I've
sorry.
seen multiple ones of it
Yeah.
before. Yeah.
And it's like, you don't even have the ability to
Yeah.
like
To understand what she's
unbiasedly
saying.
watch
Yeah.
content. You're like, oh
Yeah.
yeah, I got this one. Or they'll just put music underneath it and think that
Mm-hmm.
that's going to change the tone.
Mm-hmm.
It's just, it's really, really, it's really bizarre.
Yeah, you have to be willing to do what they're doing back to them.
Hmm.
And there's I've seen it done. Like I've seen there's this guy, I don't know if you've ever heard of Destiny before. He's like this debate. I have issues with this, but he's gone on there and dunked on them
Yeah.
good, but he's willing to kind of play that. He's smart enough that he can like
Hmm.
basically he doesn't have to go down an actual philosophical debate route. He can
Hmm.
kind of play their game back with them.
Yeah.
I know that's I need a person that's willing to have a conversation.
I know Destiny's has some bad views. I can't think of them right
Yeah.
now, so this is not a pro Destiny podcast. There's times where cockiness works in people's favor, like, because
Hmm.
Destiny, I think he's cocky. He
Hmm.
seems to kind of be, he kind of seems, maybe he's a little bit of shit disturber, I don't know, but he's not easily moved, so like,
Hmm.
when they say things that are outlandish or offensive, like, he doesn't really react to that,
Hmm.
because of just the way that he carries himself. He's like, no, you're dumb, whatever.
Hmm.
um and I think that stems from kind of, I feel like he has an ego, and that can work to your favor in a debate, right?
Hmm.
You have like Drew, right? So his is, I
Hmm.
think, ego. You have like Drew, who, she genuinely does not give a fuck what
Hmm.
these men think. Genuinely, which causes
Yeah.
them to unravel. So
Hmm.
she can debate really well because she does not give a fuck what they say. So she does
Hmm.
not care. So if they throw out like mean, incendiary, or like purposely trying to start shit with her, she's like, I don't care about you.
Yeah.
You mean nothing to me. Go talk to your mom. But the problem I have is that if somebody says something like truly offensive
Hmm.
or like egregious, like, I am impacted by that. Like, I have to
Hmm.
take a second.
Hmm.
Which is why, like, I don't think I would do well, because you have to remember, aside from all the things we've already mentioned, which is like, they're not trying to understand, they're not trying to have a good faith debate, they just want content, generally speaking.
Hmm.
There's also the issue of like, the bar for them is so low as to
Hmm.
like what they'll say to you, like what they're
Hmm.
willing to say, how much they're willing to upset you, because the point is, like, most of the time I feel like they want to say something to like throw you
Right.
off.
Well, especially when it could like there was a podcast, one of the ones that asked me to come on eventually. They devoted a 20-minute section of their video to it was, and this was a very conservative Christian podcast.
Oh, Jesus.
It was a man and a woman that were devoted to the video about my wife, where I teared up about
Oh,
loving
yeah.
her.
Yeah.
And they were outraged that they were like, this is what's wrong with masculinity in the world. That look at
Really?
this. But the only reason they disagreed with it was because of my platform being like, if
That's
the fact that I'm like
bizarre.
anti a lot of the stuff that they other stuff that they
Right.
agree with. And
Right.
so because of the fact that they already knew that they disliked me, this video they had to also disagree with. It couldn't be like, oh well, maybe this is something that actually falls in line with what we value, that you should love and cherish your partner and you grow with them. And that would, if I was a conservative male, that I mean, I am a male. If I was a conservative guy that
Conservative
was,
male. Yeah.
yeah, if I was a conservative person that was making this video about how horrible it is that people don't stay married, and it was anti-divorce or
Or
something like
about the
that,
flag.
or something, yeah, if I had
Right about the
something in there
flag.
that,
Yeah.
yeah, that made it coded conservative, then it would have been okay. But because it was this value that should theoretically align, is one of the things that should have aligned with what they said, it had to be bad, and it had to be critiqued to the point where they put it on their show. It's one of those things.
It's
There are things,
bizarre.
like the example would be, a great one would be Jordan Peterson, right? 90% of what he says is BS. We've talked about it
Yeah.
before, but then there's 10% of what he says that is just general. Okay, I don't
Knowledge.
disagree with
Whatever.
that. Yeah, so it would be good to learn things. Like
Yeah.
it's like the most
Although
generic advice.
I'll tell you, he's
Uh,
starting to unravel. I think his
oh, I've
content's gotten a little more
Yeah,
cuckoo. Yeah.
yeah, I've noticed that too. But like I said, I'm not going to then try to find a way to pick apart the something that I
Right.
actually agree with,
Right. Right.
right?
Right.
This generic advice that is not political, not
Yeah.
sexist, not like, there is, every single person on earth has 10% at least of
Yeah.
something they say that is not crucial. But when you get to the point where you hate the person saying it more than that you can't even compute that you
Hear it.
agree with
Yeah.
what they're saying,
Yep.
then that's where it gets to the point where, like I said, you can't debate with them anymore. Because no matter what I say, I can't even find a common ground to convince them, hey, we might have something in common that we might
Yeah.
want to talk about here. No, they're gonna shift it. The
A hundred
goalpost is gonna
percent.
move, and you're wrong again. Here's why you're wrong, and it's all about just beating me.
And yeah, that's the other thing is like I would have conversations in real life like that, no problem.
Hmm.
But
Right,
again, it's
right,
like it's the way that they're framing it. Like they're never going to be honest about why they're having you on. They're never going to be honest in what they're
right.
talking about. They're always trying to get you like the people that are like that online are almost never like that in real life. Like in the sense
No.
of like if you were to actually debate them like person to person, they would crumble. Like if
Hmm.
you know, fresh and fit, if they didn't have all those girls around them and their little
Hmm.
podcasts, like no way. I mean, you saw him getting absolutely unhinged over this whole controversy where he's like rah, rah,
Hmm.
screaming into the mic. You're like, whoa, buddy,
Right.
buddy, that's a lot of emotions. I thought we were against emotions on this podcast.
This is an
Um,
extreme example, but I know someone who met Andrew Tate when he was younger,
ugh,
and she this is right when his like
yeah,
gross star started to rise. I made a
uh-huh,
video stitching him,
yeah,
and she was like, I'm shocked. I met him a few years ago at a thing, and he was the sweetest, nicest person on earth. Like, he was so respectful and genuine, and then all of a sudden, but it was what made him money is he had to have this persona of, and at a certain point then you start believing your own bullshit.
bullshit. Yep,
Right, like he might have started off as a money-making scheme. I
yeah.
genuinely do believe he believes the crap he's peddling at
Oh
this point. A
yeah,
lot of them do, yeah.
yeah. I
But you're
believe that
right.
too.
Off camera though, they can be very civil and be, oh yeah, oh no, we're gonna talk about this, and we're
Oh,
gonna
they
be,
will be, yeah.
yeah.
Or, but you know, that's actually happened to people in interviews because I've known people who have gone on shows,
Hmm.
and it started that way. Like they were really
Hmm.
nice to them, and then the cameras came on and they were just attacked them. They're like,
Just
"What
boom.
the
And
hell?"
that's part of the, also part of a way to catch you off guard. Yeah.
Even like Pearl, like there are people who knew
Hmm.
Pearl before she was the Pearl she is now. Like Angry Reactions dated her, I
Yeah, they used to
think.
date. Yeah.
And like
Hmm.
they all say she was just like a very normal person.
Hmm.
She just was an average
Hmm. And she
gal.
was trying to make it as a content creator, and then she realized,
This'll
oh, this
work.
is a way to get views. This is gonna get me money.
It's like you know, you sell your soul,
Hmm.
right? Like
Hmm.
that's what it is. Like, you know, I don't I try to avoid going after women
Mm-hmm.
because it's not the focus. Like, I mean, on my page and stuff, it's just not my
Mm-hmm.
focus. I think people go after women enough. I will comment on it if it's egregious.
Right.
But I try and stay in my lane with that a little bit. But you know, it's like those type of women, they always get their comeuppance.
Mm-hmm.
Like the people that are in alignment with these things, people that support these things, it's like, especially women, because it's like you're going to pay for that.
Mm-hmm.
You're aligning yourself with people that are openly against you.
That hate you.
Even
Yeah,
if you're the
it's
best girl, I always call it like the
mm-hmm.
best girl of all the girls. They hate all the women. I guess they would
Mm-hmm.
say girl. You know, you're the best woman of all the women. You're
Right.
still beneath them.
Mm-hmm.
You're still subservient to them. They still want you to clean their dirty drawers.
Mm-hmm.
You know, at the end of the
And that
day.
that part of the internet, there's a lot of money to be made. I remember
Oh
that's
my
what always
God, it's
cracks
all
me
men,
up.
but yes,
Yeah,
the
when
viewers
somebody
are.
yeah, when somebody says to me like, "Oh yeah, you're only saying this to make money, to get views." I'm like, I could make so much money if if I was to go the opposite route.
I know we've
There's
talked about this.
so
You do
much,
switch.
yeah. Yeah, if I just all of a sudden like, haha, now debt's paid off.
It's so interesting to me how many women pretend to make content for women that's actually for men. Like Pearl,
Hmm.
she's always talking
Hmm.
to women, but she's
Right.
never actually talking to
Yeah.
women. And I just look at them and I'm like, one, I don't like what you're doing, obviously, but it's like you do realize you're hurting yourself. Like
Hmm.
you're only hurting yourself. You're hurting other women. You'll never be accepted. You'll never be even seen as an equal, the bare minimum. And at
Hmm.
the first chance they get, they're gonna attack you. There's like, who's the girl that sings oh, what's that creator's name?
Francesca Ramsey.
It's Francesca Ramsey,
Oh, so I was right. Okay.
where she's like playing the ukulele guitar,
Yeah,
whatever
yeah.
it is, and she's like, I didn't think the leopards would eat my face. It's like,
Yeah.
yes, 100%.
Hmm.
That's what's gonna happen when they have proven themselves to be anti-women,
Hmm.
and they like when you're anti-woman, like the leopards will eat your face.
And the amount of time, because I'll get accused of doing the opposite version, right? Like where
Hmm.
only women care about what you are saying and like blah blah blah. Like like oh they're not gonna pick you, bro. The whole Mr. Pick Me thing. And I'm at the amount of times I have to explain, and I've had quite a few guys that people think that, oh, guys aren't gonna ever listen to, but I've had quite a few guys that I've gone back and forth with for a while, where when I finally break down why what I'm saying benefits them, that they're still like, you could tell they're not sure what to do with that
A
information.
100%. I've had
But
that
there's
too.
that moment of like, okay,
It's like a
well, I need
stalemate.
to, yeah, I need to look more into this then,
Yeah.
or something like that. But I'm
Yeah.
like, no, I'm saying, and that was I made the video the other day. I was like, I want my son to also have a good future. Like I want him to be able to feel things. I want him to be, have a happy life. I'm not just saying this because I'm like, I hate all men and I want
Yeah.
men to suffer. Like I'm
Yeah.
a man. I want my
I
life
am
to
a
be
man
good.
also.
But there's that disconnect of like, that when I explain why it benefits men, they're still like, but you're using the word masculine, and
You said
masculine is
masculinity.
all you said. Toxic masculinity, that means toxic men, that means all men, that means you hate men. Like no,
Quite the
no,
leap. Quite the
that's
leap there.
there's so much more, but that's the methodology. It's like it's like this team thing of like, oh, it has to be men versus women, as opposed to no, there's a system here. We talked about this last week that is harming everyone,
Everybody.
and it's mainly pushed, though it is mainly pushed and maintained by men, but it's
Because they're at the
systemic, it's
top.
hurting
But
yeah.
it's a system. Well, and that's the interesting thing is like the women's content, like the Pearl-esque type content,
Hmm.
is specifically aimed at men, and everything about it is putting women down, harming women,
Hmm.
like making women less than, taking rights away. Like she literally at one point said women shouldn't vote. Like it's crazy,
Yeah.
right? But your content should be for everyone. It should be
Hmm.
something everybody would take interest in because it's about helping everyone. It's about breaking down
Hmm.
systems that harm everyone. It's about talking about like toxicity and
Hmm.
people who are harming like everyone as a whole. And the fact that it's a majority of women that listen to that content just shows that so many men are unwilling to address or
Right.
even look at
Right.
what's going wrong. Like the issues within themselves, but more importantly, the issue in the system that they're a part of. Because you're
Mm-hmm.
rarely talking about them, just the men themselves. You're talking about the system. And the
Right.
fact that they can't even hear you talk about toxic men without relating it back to themselves showcases the fact that they believe toxicity and men are inherently the same.
Mm-hmm.
That's the crazy part because we're the ones saying, no, we don't think
No,
that.
yeah.
I mean, how many
We can,
times a
yeah,
podcast, if I did a, like a, what do you call that? A highlight reel or whatever, a
right.
supercut of me saying toxic men, not all men, it would be
Mm-hmm.
probably an hour long because I
Mm-hmm.
constantly am trying to make it clear that I love men. I have so many great, like I have mentors that are men. I have friends that are men. I
Mm-hmm.
respect so many men in my life because I've seen how amazing men can be, just like all genders.
Mm-hmm.
Um, it's not us that are saying it's all men. It really is
I hate that
men.
we have to coddle it so like them so much though with the whole just so you
You're
guys know
telling me.
it's I know I'm not like did you know how much this sucks for me, Reagan, where I have to
Gosh, I really no. I mean,
it's like
I
the
agree.
whole not all men thing. It's like you shouldn't have to like it's obvious. And
Yeah.
I always it's so clear. Like I'll go back and forth. I'm like, you know that this is not about all men, right? You have
Mm-hmm.
to know. They're like, no, they're saying like, no, you don't believe that. Like you don't believe that they are saying that every single man in existence is a horrific monster. What they're saying is it feels like that though,
Yeah.
and that's an accept like they're saying that there's right now because of the fact that you are hearing them complain about this horrific injustice or this horrible thing they
Yeah.
went through, and all you're hearing is but I
But
didn't do
me,
it, but me, why are you doing that to me? If that's what you're hearing, you're proving the point. You're
let me tell you, I did one video about
hmm
this was the tree one. I did videos
hmm
on Man vs. Bear too, but when this one guy did the tree video, and I literally lay out, I'm like, if you don't get it by now, you're not going to, so this isn't for you. So I set a boundary, right? And then I lay out, like, here's why this is a problem. Here's why this
right.
argument is a problem. Like, I wasn't attacking men. I mean, I don't do that. I was
hmm
just simply saying, like, here's why this is problematic, and like, here's why women are upset by like just like, and mainly I was talking to women themselves, like about like why it was ridiculous.
hmm
But I was very much, line by line explaining it, like why it's a problem what these men are saying, right? I have never had so many men in my, hold on, we can end on this, I guess. But
yeah.
hold on, let me pull it up. The things that men have said to me. Like one guy, I no longer care what psychopaths do to a feminist. I really don't care.
Yeah.
What?
Let me add on. There was a guy that wrote on my video I made about a similar topic where he
Mhm.
said, you don't understand. I did care until it felt like women were blaming me, and now I don't care at all.
Yes.
And that's the basic. It's like, no, you didn't care that, and that's we've talked about that before. You don't do kind things. You don't treat other people well simply because they're praising you for it. If that's the only, if the second you get pushback, the
Mm-hmm.
second you get negativity back to you, and you like, fine, I'm done. I'm no longer
I'm
help.
done.
Then you didn't care. You didn't actually care. Like any parent can give you this a very pretty clear example with your children. Like
Right.
you do good things for them because you love them,
Right.
right? Because you care about them. They are not usually not going to give you thanks and praise for the good things you're doing for them, right? But that also it comes back to real life. We see that over and over where they're like, well, I'm not going to help you because because you're not giving me my prize. You're not giving me my
Yes.
trophy.
Yes.
And that means you didn't actually care about it. That's what it comes down to.
Well, if you're doing something quote unquote nice only because you want something out of it, as in some type of unspoken exchange, and then when you don't
hmm
get that you revoke niceness, then guess what, you're not being nice,
hmm
period. Yeah, I mean,
hmm
I have all these guys like just like, they're like attacking me saying I don't care about men and I don't care about men's mental health, and
Right.
it's just like the complete inability to like hear
Yeah.
what women are saying, like the obtuseness of it all, because like, to your point, at what point do we recognize like you can't be this obtuse?
Hmm.
You have to know what you're doing. When
Hmm.
I shouldn't have to say, which I still do, I shouldn't have to say every single time, especially when describing a toxic behavior.
Right.
I shouldn't have to label that. Like I shouldn't be more worried about saying it the wrong way than you're worried about the actual behavior. That's what's
Hmm.
crazy.
Hmm.
Is like there's more emphasis on like packaging it perfectly to not upset men so they'll hear us. Like I
Hmm.
just I'll end on this, but like even the other day I needed a guy. This actually happened with two different men. Um, I'm in the midst of something where there was this creep back in the day, and he was trying to be a part of the community again, and we were speaking out about our experiences about said man, and there were two different men who we had to interact with that like either had authority in this situation or knew what he did, were present
Hmm.
and were aware of what this man had done. And I remember like I spoke to both of them, and I felt myself literally catering to them, being extra nice to them, being extra calm with them as I'm basically, talking about a very upsetting subject, trying to get them to do the right fucking thing that
Hmm.
they know. They both knew what the right fucking thing was. One of them did do the right thing, by the way. But like, I still felt the need to cater to them. And like, in my own head, I knew if they like me and they think I like them, they are more willing to do the right thing. And that's
Hmm.
really sad. I shouldn't
Hmm.
have to cater to men to help me protect other people from bad men. Like that's it. I don't know. I just have been thinking about that. I was like, damn, like why did I have to like I literally was like, okay, yeah,
Hmm.
sure. No, I know like literally like I know you're not bad. I know you're not a bad one. But please help
Wait,
me.
it comes down because they're not going to listen to you unless they feel placated
Yep.
in that instant, unless they feel that the whole, and I think it goes back to full circle to why it's so important also for like even just with content online, where you need more men to speak up about
Yeah.
these sort of things. Because they're so stuck that if it comes out of the body of a woman, if the message
Yeah.
is presented them from a woman, they're like, I'm not going to listen to a single thing you have to say, right? Unless you play it perfectly and build me up and get me to the point where I will
Yes.
listen to you, I'm just going to completely shut you out, right? And that's every time I make any video, I'll get comments from guys, especially when they go viral. They're like, well, it's not our job to solve the problems of women, right? Because they don't understand that it's not a like men harming women is not a woman's problem,
Right,
right? And,
right.
and when I point out, I'm like, that's a men's problem. This is the reason why you guys are so upset about women not wanting to be approached in public places. The reason why you're so upset about women not wanting to spend time alone with you or to go on whatever it is you want to do is because of us, right? And even if you're not the one, and that's one guy was like, "Oh, you're admitting something that you do." I'm like, "No, you fucking guys, another F word." I'm
Twist
like,
it,
"No,
twist
it's
it.
not." Yeah, I'm like, do you not understand? Like this is an us problem. It's not fixing the problem of women. It's fixing the problem of men. And if you're not willing to step up, you don't get to complain about it. You don't get to complain about the results of that of our problem if you're not willing to do something to fix it.
And then, ironically, while we say, well, that's a woman's problem. I'm not getting involved
Hmm.
now because you don't even want equal rights, so we're not going to help you, right? That's like the argument now. And on the same breath, those are the same guys that are like, well, men's mental health, that's a you
Right.
problem. Like the ones that attack me in my comment section, which, by the way, everyone, I very much give a shit about men's mental
Hmm.
health. I give a shit about everyone's mental health. Like, I am a part of trainings to help people understand mental health issues. Like this is very much an important topic to me. But if mental health issues are only at the forefront on the conversation when they're trying to distract
Hmm.
from a women's conversation, then
Hmm.
that's a problem, right?
If you're weaponizing mental health to silence somebody else,
Yep.
that's not about mental health. It never was about mental health.
You would be shocked. Well, you probably wouldn't be. Well, you might be shocked. I don't know. I was like, that probably doesn't happen in your comment section this way. Like,
Hmm.
how many men were absolutely like unloading all this trauma on me and being
Hmm.
like I mean, like traumatic events that happened to them, and saying like facts on unaliving, like all this stuff, and being like, like if expect I don't know what they expect from me. I don't know what they
Mm-hmm.
expect me to say to that. Just because I said, hey, we should focus on women when we're talking about an issue of women's safety. Like, it's so unhinged. And
Mm-hmm.
it just gets very frustrating as a woman when, like, the very important content of what I'm saying is constantly being shifted. Just because I focus on women does not mean I don't care about men. Just because
Mm-hmm.
I'm centering women in a conversation does not mean men do not matter. And I feel like that's the takeaway for toxic men. Like at
Mm-hmm.
any point, if women are centered and focused on, they're like, well, what about us? It's like
Mm-hmm.
both can exist. Both
Mm-hmm.
are like all of these conversations are important. But again, it's the fact that you only bring it up and you only seem to want to publicly talk about like the way I would phrase it is you are only being vulnerable when you are using vulnerability as a weapon. You are
Mm-hmm.
only sharing your trauma right now with a stranger on the internet
Mm-hmm.
because you want to make me feel like shit.
Mm-hmm.
And that is not vulnerability. And that is not sharing your emotions. That's weaponizing your experiences in order to silence me from sharing my own.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's the difference is we need to be able to communicate like I want men to share their feelings. I want men to feel open to do that. I want men to communicate. But if you're only being vulnerable when it's being weaponized to silence
Right.
women or control women or manipulate women,
Mm-hmm.
then that's not really you being vulnerable. That's just a weaponization of your emotions.
Yep. And that's where the disconnect constantly comes up.
Yeah.
Where it's, oh, that's why I can't share my emotions with my, and it's always because, well, let's look at how you shared them.
Yeah.
And
Or
it's
why.
not
Yeah.
why you should that I guess what not how, I guess. I don't know, that sounds more like tone policing, but like
Sometimes
why,
how
yeah.
though. Yeah.
Yeah, but like why did you do it? Did it come up simply because you were being criticized for something and now you are using this as a way to make that, to take away from having any ownership of something you might have done that was wrong? Or are you actually just like, hey, I'm really feeling bad, I need someone to support me? If someone's weaponizing that against you, then yeah, they are in the wrong. Right?
Absolutely.
But nobody is denying that. Nobody is
Yeah.
arguing against that. And there are people that do that, right? And but it's they can't, they only will focus on that very specific niche situation and never ever admit that maybe they are not actually caring about that there's more to. I don't want to actually solve this situation, I want to win the situation. It goes back to that competition aspect. I need to be the one that is allowed to feel something. I don't want you to do that though.
And I mean, I think so the last episode I did on my the other F the Nice Guy podcast was crazy
Hmm.
shit men say to me on the internet. I think I might have talked about this on there. I'm like, when did I say what I said? But there is this expectation, I think, of these men, like one that they have the right to like throw their emotions on women on the internet, and either the
Hmm.
women need to be their therapist despite having I don't know who these men are. I've never met these
Hmm.
like I don't know you, but you want to
Hmm.
unload on me. That either they're going to be your therapist or, that it's going to be that I don't engage with that, and they're like, "See, I told you.
Hmm.
Women don't care."
Case in point,
Case
proven.
end point.
Yep.
When I unloaded my trauma on this random girl on the internet on her
Hmm.
video, she didn't give me therapy and she doesn't care. It's
Yep.
like, I do care, but the way that you're going about this is so inappropriate.
Yeah.
I think it really showcases how men see women because, in my opinion, this is purposefully a way to silence women by doing this. And what it weaponizes and what it's based in is the knowledge that women do care, that
Hmm.
women's very much do care. Like, generally speaking, women have been taught to prioritize men's feelings.
Hmm.
Hopefully, you've unpacked that. We're all trying. But, like, that is what we've learned. So, when a man comes in your comment section and says, well, think about men, I'm hurting, here's my trauma, and, starts attacking you for being a quote unquote bad person,
Hmm.
that's going to shut a woman up because God forbid a woman be a quote unquote bad person, a quote unquote
Hmm.
unempathetic woman. I mean, I was called villainous because I did
Hmm.
this. And it's like, they are weaponizing that because they know that women have been raised to believe they're responsible for men's emotions, and that if they're not nice to men, if they don't listen, if they don't react the way they should, that they are not, almost like not good people, but not good women. The fact that they attack me in this way and women on the internet in this way makes it clear to me that they are very aware of the dynamics of the patriarchy, and that's, if anything, these comments only ever prove our point even more.
And coming full circle, they're very aware of the meaning of shitty underwear being given to your partner.
Talk about symbolism.
Metaphorical shitty underwear.
Okay. I mean, that's what it feels like.
You're not responsible for cleaning the shitty drawers in your comments.
Oh, that's, you know what? That's exactly how I'm going to think about it from here on out. Well, we've talked long enough. God, how long have we been talking,
I don't know,
Chesko?
like 3 hours, something like 2.5 hours. Yeah.
All right. Well, thank you so much, friends, for listening. As you know, we have a Patreon, so please check that out. It's really helpful. You've heard our inside jokes from there. We put the pre-show on there, which is us talking for God knows how long before each show. Way too long. We also are putting our episodes up on YouTube if you want to see our faces. I don't know if you do. I don't know if you do or don't. But you can see us and all of our ridiculous expressions on YouTube. We have, what else, Chesko? Am I missing
An
anything?
Instagram. There's an
Instagram. That's
and,
happening.
A merch shop.
We got some merch. We'll probably be adding to that. We're putting things into the works. We
got stuff going on.
Yeah. Got stuff going on. We want you to be a part of it. So thank you for listening, everyone. And Chesko, any like professions to our viewers you want to give?
I love you.
There it is. We have gotten remarks. If Chesko doesn't say it.
I do love you all so much. You complete me. I don't know what I'd do without you.
Oh my God. It's so intense in here right now. I also love you all. I don't know if I'm going to do like Jerry Maguire quotes.
Stop that. They don't care about that.
I don't want them to think, I don't want to be the other. I feel like we're
That's
parents, the parents of the podcast. I don't want to be the distant parent that's like, you're all right. No, I also love you. Need to up my oversharing game, I guess. Jesus. All right. We'll talk to you all later. Bye.
Bye.
Okay, dope rhyme slinger, good advice giver. Listen for a second, let me try and paint a picture.